While you guys are waiting, if you want to fill out the survey, that would be great. If you haven't already done so, there should be one in front of you. It's a white paper. Sorry about that. There you go. And then you can turn it in at Care Services, turn it in at the where you checked in, or you can turn it in to the back where I'm sitting. Yeah, I should have to, yeah, I'll do it after I'm done here, yeah. Yeah, no, perfect. She's probably at the Holy Cross table. She has long black hair. Holy Cross. You can ask her if she's there, just say to add that to her list, but I think I printed out the questions. Okay, I'll ask her. Thank you. You're welcome. So for those of you that just joined us, there is a survey in front of you, if you wouldn't mind filling that out. We always want to make these symposiums better for next year, so we appreciate and welcome your opinions. So when you have a moment to fill that out. Gary, what time is it?
It is
7, oh my God.
I feel like I've been up all day. It is 1:43.
Okay, we'll give it a few more minutes. So I want everybody to have a chance to come in. Did you find her, Jackie? You found her? Does she have a list of the questions? A printed copy? I believe I do. I have time before I ask the docs, right? Oh, not till 2:55, I think, right? And then 2:55 is ask the docs. I have till 3 o'clock. Perfect. Tell Nithya I will have it for her. Yes. And also in our main room next door, be sure and grab some extra sodas and waters to bring home. For those of you that are traveling or, yeah, we appreciate you. Take as much as you need. Some extra for the road from family, for lunch next week. They charge us by the person, so.
You're right at a quarter of.
Okay, all right, we'll get started.
If you want to wait another minute or get
Okay,
started,
we can wait
it's up
another
to,
minute,
up to
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I won't wait another minute.
I'm going to leave my card in the back for you, just so you have my contact information.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
I mean, I know you have it, but
All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm very happy to introduce Gary Appelsies, who is the Director of Operations for the Senior Resource Alliance, the Area Agency on Aging of Central Florida. He is a seasoned professional in both the nonprofit and for-profit sectors with over 30 years of experience working in and with communities around the county, building relationships and creating and implementing programs that help communities positively impact the health and well-being of its citizens of all ages. Gary graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in nutrition science. He is an adjunct faculty member at UCF's College of Medicine. Go Knights. Serves as a board member for the Parkinson's Foundation and council member for Good Food Central Florida. The Orlando Sentinel inducted Gary into their Culinary Hall of Fame. Gary is the co-founder of Culinary Cares, a nonprofit organization that strives to get food in the hands of people during times of natural disasters. So let me take this time to thank Gary for being here, and this floor is yours.
thank you, Tina. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. So today we're going to talk about long-term care services for you and your loved one. Knowing the roles and the rules. As Tina said, my name is, I'm going to walk away from that. As Tina said, my name is Gary Appelsies. I'm with the Senior Resource Alliance, and we are the Area Agency on Aging for Central Florida. There are 11 of us in the state of Florida. I'm going to give you a brief overview of everything we're going over today, and please feel free to ask questions either along the way or at the end. I'll be around here if you want to ask anything privately. So we are known as the Area Agency on Aging. We are also known as Senior Resource Alliance. We are also known as PSA 7, and we are also known as the ADRC. The ADRC sometimes is referred to by the Alzheimer's Disease Association as well, but we are the Aging and Disability Resource Center, and we serve older adults and persons with disabilities in the state of Florida, each serving a specific region of the state. So like I said, there are 11 of us in the state. And if you're interested in another region that we don't cover, I can tell you who is in your region. Senior Resource Alliance, as I said, we serve Brevard, Orange, Osceola, and Seminole. And we provide information and referral services for people that are in need of any types of services. So our intake comes. Am I too close to that? So our intake actually comes in through our elder helpline, where we provide our information and referral services to people. People call in, we do an evaluation on the phone, and then we can refer you to either one of our partner agencies, or we can refer you for long-term care assessments. We can refer you for Medicare, Medicaid, all of that kind of information. Some of the programs that we have: statewide Medicaid managed long-term care, provides home and community-based services and assistance for home or help with costs associated with assisted living facilities. We also have our CCE program, which is community care for the elderly, providing community-based services to help elders live in the least restrictive environments, yet most cost-effective. Home care for the elderly, our HCE program. We also have an enhanced HCE program now that's just starting up in October, which provides basic subsidies to support caregivers for Floridians 60 in age and over. And then we have our ADI program, which is our Alzheimer's Disease Initiative program, which provides support and services for individuals and families affected with Alzheimer's or other related memory disorders. So we also have some other programs. We work with Meals on Wheels for meals that are home delivered. They also do congregate meals. We have supportive services. We refer out for caregiver services, as well as 3 different types of health and wellness programs that we provide. One is a matter of balance for falls prevention. We have chronic illness and disease management, as well as diabetes prevention. We're also going to be starting a blood pressure self-monitoring program coming up in the beginning of next year that we're partnering with the American Heart Association on. So what is the difference between Medicaid and Medicare? Medicaid programs like statewide Medicaid managed long-term care are separate from Medicare. So your Medicare benefits, Medicaid are not the same. Medicare is a federal health insurance for older adults and persons with disabilities, where Medicaid covers low-income individuals and uses income and assets as the main eligibility criteria. If you have questions about Medicare concerns or about fraud, or need assistance with Medicare premiums, drug deduction, drug information, we have a program called SHINE. I have some brochures if you're interested in it. It is a totally 100% volunteer-run program, and our volunteers are well-trained to give you the information you need to help you manage your information, especially with open enrollment coming up starting next month. If you want to learn more about the Medicare benefits you have or what your needs may be, not what you actually have, the SHINE people are the best resource for you. So who's eligible for our programs? Some programs follow Medicaid, SSI-related financial eligibility standards, and these programs are for an individual that must be within the income and asset guidelines. So this was just changed recently last year. So currently, the financial eligibility standard for an individual's income is $2,742 a month, and the individual's assets cannot exceed $2,000. Now, that doesn't mean you're not eligible for it. It just means you need to seek legal aid or some other attorney, counsel, to help you figure out how you can get to those numbers or what other programs might be available, okay? So other programs do not follow the above standard, but they may have a copayment associated with them. So just know that, but there are other programs out there if you don't qualify for this. So what does our Elder Helpline do? The first step, and you can always call us at 407-514-1800 or at our 800 number as well. So all individuals who wish to receive long-term care, home and community-based care services must go through our Aging and Disability Resource Center. It's a federal and state requirement. All other Medicare programs, you can go through other resources, but specifically for this program, you have to come through us, okay, in order to become eligible for this program. Our organization gathers all the general information about the person needing the assistance, and we make the appointment for the screening to determine what program is appropriate for the individual. Then they'll go on a wait list. We'll explain that in a minute. So this is the first step. You make the assessment. I was just talking with somebody in the room earlier. They actually made an appointment for, I think in October, they have an appointment with their local area agency on aging. And this is the process that they're going to go through. I have some water back there somewhere. They're going to get a 701S assessment. I knew I left this here. They're going to get a 701S assessment. And that is the screening tool that we use to see if you're eligible. The screening tool is going to look at your demographics. It looks at your income and assets. It looks at your health. It looks at your need for assistance, who the caregivers are, and if there's any nutrition information that's applicable for the process. Once the assessment is completed, our agents, our counselors, they are not the ones that actually physically do the ranking. The ranking is scored by the computer, so we do not actually do the ranking. The ranking gets scored automatically, and this is how you get ranked. So there are 5 different types of ranks. It's ranked 1 through 5, low priority score, high priority score. Low priority, rank 1 or 2, 0 to 29, high priority, 3 to 5, and it's a 30 to a 46 score. Now, the higher priorities are the ones that get released first. The low priorities stay on the wait list. You are not released. We don't release anybody ourselves. This is all done by the state. As funds become available, the state will release them. We will call you and say you've been released from the wait list, and then you can proceed with whatever services you may need, okay, if you are still interested. Now, I was asked earlier today about somebody who may have scored a rank 1 a month ago, but their health has changed. Something happened. You can call and reapply if there's a change in health, okay, and get a reassessment. There are also reassessments are done once a year, so even if you score a rank 1 or 2 or a rank 3 and you haven't been released, every year around the anniversary of your application, you will get a call from one of our counselors who will call to do a reassessment to see if the need has changed and if your rank goes up. Any questions? I know that's a lot of information. Any questions, though? Okay. So the Department of Elder Affairs, like I said, they determine who is going to be released from the wait list, and releases from the wait list are conducted periodically. Usually we get those releases once a month. Sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes it's a little shorter. So here's the priority rule by the state. So as a result of changes to the Florida Statute 409.979 and ACCA's Rule 59G-4.193, clients who receive a high priority rank, remember those are 3, 4s, and 5s, on their 701S screening, and there are a couple of different 701 screenings. CARES does one, some of our priority agencies do them, so different 701s depending on how the scores are done. Screenings will continue to be placed onto the wait list for the statewide Medicare managed long-term care program, while clients receive a low priority ranking of 1 or 2 will not. Now, just because you receive a 1 or 2 does not mean, again, that you can't get into a program. You're just not going to get onto the Medicaid list. So it does not affect your wait list placement for programs like community-based care, or home care for the elderly, or the Alzheimer's Disease Initiative, okay? You may still be eligible for other assistance and other programs through the Older Americans Act. Questions? Okay. So once an assessed priority is completed, you go on the assessed priority consumer list. So completion of a screening will allow a person to be added to the assessed priority consumer list for the programs that they are determined to be appropriate for. So those CCE, ADI, HCE programs. That wait list is priority-based but not time-based, meaning that regardless of the time spent on the wait list, those determined as the most frail and in the most need of assistance and services will be released from the wait list when funding is available. Again, we don't have any control of the funding. We get the funding from the state, and the state tells us when we can release people. Reassessments, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, right? So how do you become eligible for a reassessment? We do a reassessment every 12 months, as I mentioned. If there is a significant change to your health, as defined by Chapter 409.962 of the Federal Code, change in an individual's health status after an accident or illness, an actual or anticipated change in the individual's living situation, so maybe going into an assisted living facility or a nursing home, a change in the caregiver's relationship, a loss or damage to the individual's home or deterioration of their home improvement, or a loss of the individual's spouse or caregiver. So all of those are what qualify. You can requalify for the benefits anytime within the 12-month period if you meet any of those standards. Otherwise, again, once a year we will call you and you can be reassessed. So again, when funding is available for a GR program, and GR stands for General Revenue from the state, and that's our CCE, HCE, and ADI programs, the lead agency, so we work with lead agencies in the counties that we deal with, so organizations like Seniors First, Meals on Wheels, those organizations we deal with, they're the ones who will contact you to inform you of the next steps to begin receiving your services. So we'll pass it off to them, they contact you, their case managers will contact you, and then we can pass off, then they'll call you and let you know what the next services are. When funding becomes available for your long-term care, for your Medicaid long-term care, you'll receive notification. We receive the notification from the DOEA, the Department of Elder Affairs, and we will notify those selected individuals by mail and by phone to inform them of what steps need to be completed in order to regain their eligibility for those programs. Question? It can happen anytime. We generally get the releases once a month, depending on funding. It's not always the same time every month. Sometimes it's like the 5th of the month, sometimes it's the 20th of the month. So it just depends on the funding and when it's available. But in general, here in Central Florida, we get our releases once a month. And we get anywhere from 150 to 250 releases every month. So the state has been good about releasing a lot of people. So sometimes it's less, but usually it's quite a bit. Yes, sir. So the question is the largest determining factor Medicaid eligibility? Yeah, it is. So if you're eligible by the standards that is set and your rank, then rank 5 is the largest factor and the financial eligibility. But like I said earlier, if you don't meet the financial eligibility, you may qualify for one of our other programs. You can also contact an elder care attorney or legal aid to help you kind of figure out how to get around some of that. Every area on agency does have a referral list. So when you call your area agency on aging, they will be able to help you get resources for either legal aid or an attorney. Yes? Yes, yeah, yeah. No matter the age, yeah. Say that again? We're already on a waiver. Okay. Long-term care waiver. Okay. So I didn't know, like, what's the difference? They should be able to explain all of that to you, yes. Yeah, and I can give you the brochure. Are you here in Central Florida? Are you here in Central Florida? Yes. Okay. So we would probably be your contact as long as you're not in Lake County. Okay. No, we're in Central. Yeah, so you can just call us at 514-1800 and ask for our Shine department, and they will refer you to somebody. Okay, thanks. I should have been here all day. Okay. So can I know you finished. Can I have your information? You can have a seat, and I will give you all my information. Are there any other questions? So the starting point is going to be calling into the Elder Helpline, to our information and referral network. And that's really the entree into the system. They're the ones that are going to take all the information. They'll ask some probing questions just so that they can get an idea of what services you actually need. And then they'll guide you to in the direction that you need to be guided into. So whether it might be for an assessment, or maybe you don't need an assessment, maybe you need some other kinds of services, our information and referral team will be able to help you figure that out. Other questions? Sure, it's 407-514-1800. That's our local number here in Central Florida. You can also call our 800 number, which is 800-96-ELDER, 35337. If you do get our voicemail system, because we do get over 1,500 calls every day, if you get our voicemail system, we usually get back to people within 3 days. Yes?
If you do get approved for support and services, from start to finish, how long does it normally take from initial phone call to help coming?
That is a very good question. We never know. It's because of the state has the final say. If you're a rank 5, it's going to be faster than if you're a rank 3 or a rank 1 or 2, right? But in generally, I'll give you a very general. I can't give you a 100% answer, but in general terms, I've seen it happen between a month and 6 months. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Again, it depends on the funding and what's available. Other questions? Do you have a question back there? You look like, okay. Any other questions? Thank you. All right, well, I'll be here in the room for a little bit. If you have any questions and you want to talk to me privately, I'm happy to have a little private conversation with you and give you more information. Sure, sure. Well, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.